With thousands staying home from work every day because of COVID, many wonder if they're eligible for paid sick days. As Money editor John Delano reports, the policies are not as friendly to workers as they were when COVID first began.
With so many people coming down with COVID, the last thing anyone needs is pressure from the boss to return to work too soon, or a sick worker feeling forced back to work because of an employer's refusal to provide sufficient paid time off. When Jack tested positive for COVID right after Christmas, his boss correctly told him to stay home. But then he got the bad news. He would not be paid during his COVID sick leave.
They said that I needed to be off. I had a doctor's excuse until tomorrow, which is the 6th. And was notified days later that since I did not have any more PTO time, paid time off, that I would not be getting paid for the last week of the year.
In 2020, employers were prohibited by federal law from penalizing employees with COVID. And in 2021, President Biden's American Rescue Plan actually reimbursed many employers for giving paid COVID leave to their employees. But that expired on September 30th.
Now the options are really up to the organizations and the employer to decide what they would like to mandate as it relates to their PTO policies.
Liz Lamping with the Pittsburgh Human Resources Association says companies are free to set their own policies. Sometimes that encourages sick people to go to work if they don't want to lose pay or personal time off, or the company requires it. That's what happened to Jack's wife, who also had COVID.
She needed to be out of work until Thursday. Her employer decided otherwise, said you needed to come back. She was at work Monday and Tuesday, but due to illness, she was not able to go today.
With no federal or state laws to tell them otherwise, says Lamping, employers are on their own.
Since that time, it has all been at will or in a case-by-case situation by the employer with what it is that they're going to decide to do, which is why this has become such an important topic for HR professionals.
There is some good news if you work full-time for a company with 50-plus employees in the city of Pittsburgh. A city law sponsored by Councilman Bobby Wilson requires 10 paid sick days for COVID.
Employers should not be requiring their employees to figure out, whether or not they're going to take their personal days or their vacation days or lack thereof. They may not have any of those days available. I mean, this is a public health effort to keep people in place so that they're not being exposed.
This city law also applies to any worker who spends more than half their time working in the city, even if their company is based outside the city. But this ordinance expires on July 29th. John Delano, KDKA News.